every 5 to 10 years, there's a paradigm shift about how investors think about the Apple story. The current paradigm is to get excited about the next iPhone, which is going to be in the fall. In this case, probably 3 iPhones, followed by this anxiety about what the guidance is going to be about the out quarter. And so there's this kind of roller coaster. 10 years ago, it was anticipation of new product categories, the iPhone, the iPad, dare I say, the TV, the watch. The next paradigm we're going to move into, we're calling it Apple's as a service. The pun aside, the reality is this is more than their services business. It's 4 pieces. The most controversial piece is our belief that the iPhone is going to be a stable business. We're not going to have to worry about these quarter to quarter. The last 6 quarters, the iPhone has been up on average 2%. It's been a stable business. So that's one of the biggest pieces. And then we believe services, that business is important. The buyback is probably much bigger than what people think. And then lastly this time, new product categories.
All right, but what about services? I mean, investors are starting to buy into this. I might pay a higher multiple given the recurring revenue theme here because it's getting larger and larger as a percentage of the overall. How big can it get?
It's 14% of revenue today. It's probably going to grow at 20% for the next few years, which gets it to about 20% of revenue in the next 3 years. If investors can step back and think of services as a standalone business and give it a SaaS multiple, which it operates like, that business alone could be worth almost $400 billion. And so hard to really wrap your head around those kind of numbers, but that's how big it can get.
But is that true? So for me, I get the services thing. I have the iPhone now, but Apple has been very late on the next product category, which is voice. The HomePod, it doesn't sound like it's doing much. And if all the services are predicated on you having that device and that kind of device is the future, do they still have a problem?
They don't, and the reason is that the real substance of their base, they have 1.3 billion active users, 800 plus million of those are iPhones. If they can maintain that base, and just some quick math on that, if they continue to retain 90% of those and they upgrade every 3 years, they can grow at 2% into perpetuity. So it's not about the HomePod.
So you're saying as long as I stay part of this ecosystem.
Right. The hardware, they continue to make money off that. They make money off the services. That powers this massive buyback. I just want to put this buyback into perspective. I want viewers tonight to go to bed with the theme of net cash neutral. Just if you're an Apple investor.
You want them to literally, that'll put them to sleep.
Put them to sleep. Net cash neutral. Net cash neutral. And the reason is this is a significant deal that I don't think that investors are fully understanding. What net cash neutral is Apple's going to have the same amount, they've said they're going to get to this point, same amount of cash as debt, which means they have to unload $145 billion. This is in excess
of the
$100 billion. And if you just put that to work as a buyback, that adds 16% to the
Not to mention how much they generate each quarter, right?
Yeah, $50 billion a year.
But they're going to take more heat over that. People are already up in arms that Apple, they're doing this $100 billion buyback. It's so bad for the country. You just don't agree. Why are those arguments not valid?
I don't even know how to respond to why that would be bad for the country, but at the end of the day is that they generate, last year they generated $63 billion from operations. They gave $47 billion of that back to investors. They're just going to keep turning that crank higher, and I think there's going to be a paradigm shift to this Apple as a services theme.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.